Welcome once again to Generally Nerdy. I am Generally Nerdy, and this is my channel. Gonna be a real quick week in Nerdom segment. Got a whole lot of work to do for my day job, and not enough time to do it. Also, because of that, have not been able to keep up a whole lot on like super nerdy things. So only a couple things to kind of talk about. Oscars are coming up. Oh wait, hold that thought. Before we get to the episode, like, subscribe, share, and retweet for me. I do put a lot of effort into these videos in spite of what some may think. So it's really cool when somebody shares something that I've done, subscribes to the YouTube channel, follows me on Twitter or Instagram or something along those lines. So be a pal and do the same. The website is www.generallynerdy.net, and you can find all of the social media connections there. And I just really appreciate you watching the videos. So yeah, www.generallynerdy.net, Facebook.com. I'm up on Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, iTunes, everywhere.
Generally Nerdy.
So this week, for the week in Nerdom, we're talking Oscar buzz a little bit. Gonna try to avoid the politics that is implied therein, but in the world we live in today, everything's political. Everything is political, so that may be a little more difficult than planned. I will do a proper Oscars video. I'll probably do actually a couple of them. One talking about the nominees specifically. I've only seen a couple, maybe a few of the movies that are even nominated. So, I have some homework to do before I can, talk about the nominees. It is a good thing that there is a more diverse group of people nominated this year. That is the easy part. The difficult part is, are there more people? Is the nominee pool a more diverse pool this year because of the new rules that they implemented this year? Or is it a more diverse pool of people because more people more non-white, non-cisgendered male, the stereotypical evil, is the diversity because there are more people who don't fit into that category, who have made films and starred in films and just been entertaining in general. I feel like there's a way that you could quantify that. I feel like there's potentially a scientific proof that you could do that would show it's not necessarily because of the rules. It's more likely because there were just more movies that contained people of color, people of other minority groups. But I don't know. I haven't done the numbers. I couldn't even tell you what those new rules for the Academy are off the top of my head. I just know they were geared towards making the nominee pool more diverse, and that has happened. So if it's because of the rules, then maybe the rules were actually necessary. If it's just because people were so pissed off about the lack of diversity that they made movies that contained more diversity, then maybe those rules were asinine and we should reconsider them. Again, I haven't done any sort of numbers on that, but there will be a couple of Oscar videos. I've got my homework right here. Oscars. So there's a little bit of homework there for that. Aside from watching the movies, I'll also get other people's opinions and then comment probably on those. Other things, Walking Dead should be starting soon. God, I wish I would have looked up the date on that so I can start talking about Walking Dead episodes, because if you're not watching The Walking Dead, it is the best show on television. You've got some catching up to do. So TV, the Supernatural's back on. We're about 3 episodes in after the break, and a series that I, after the end of the last season, was unsure how they were going to continue. Definitely has found a really cool way to continue. We've met God, we've met Satan, we're friends with the King of Hell and an angel. We have dispelled God, and we have well, not really dispelled, but God is more passive now, and Lucifer is on the run. And at the end of the last season, it was kind of like, well, they may or may not have implied that he died. So it's like, what are you going to do with a show called Supernatural? There's no more, like, mystery to the things that go bump in the night. What started off as a semi-X-Files-y procedural, aside from the fact that the 2 main characters are not actually working for the government, even though they pretend to very frequently. Started off as a procedural, and with all these, different, they had to research all these different ghosts and demons, and then we learned that angels were a real thing, which, kind of makes sense. You can't really have demons without angels. So all of the mystery has been taken out of that. The sails have been deflated, as it were, because we know, the maker, the supreme I am, the big guy upstairs. We know him. He's a character, and we know his sister, the Darkness, and now they're off reacquainting themselves with one another, and so God is no longer an active part of the show. And again, they implied that Lucifer may have died at the end of the last season, so I was very interested what they were going to do with season 12. Once you have no more mystery to the monsters, how are you going to motivate the show? And the inclusion of their mom, how she came back, was a pretty good motivating factor for a few episodes, but it's not what's driving the whole season. They're going for a Nephilim. I probably should have saw that coming, but I didn't. And, I kind of anticipate eventually they will work into, like, other religious, other gods, you know what I mean? Like the Greek gods and blah, blah, blah. Norse gods even. Like, I feel like eventually they've kind of touched on that stuff already once or twice, but they never really got into it. I thought that was the direction they were going to go for motivation. It's not where they went. They went Nephilim. They're staying pretty hardcore on the Christian mythology, so we'll see. I mean, it's great. If you're not watching Supernatural, there's 11 seasons to catch up, 11 and a half seasons now to catch up on, so catch up. It's a great show. I mean, there's not a whole lot of depth, but I know there's legions of screaming fangirls who would disagree with me on that part. I really enjoy the show. It's not a thinker like Walking Dead can be, or like Game of Thrones can be, or anything, you know, of that caliber. It's not quite that caliber. It's still a great show though, so watch it. Video games. Shazam was announced for Injustice. I'm really only keeping up on Mortal Kombat stuff right now. I mean, if you saw the logo, you'll understand. So Shazam was announced. They're into wave 4 of the beta testing. Still don't have a beta code. I haven't tried for a beta code though. Ed Boon has been handing out beta codes through ridiculous trivia questions, and also been using the term AF like he just learned it, even though it's kind of been a thing with younger folk for a little while. Yeah, I don't know, he's a goofball. Ed Boon, really, I'm just saying, like, you're not 15, dude. Everything doesn't have to be annoying AF or crazy AF. Like, I mean, it's fine, but whatever. Anyway, so video games, music, going to see, I can't think of his first name, something Voltaire, in Denver tomorrow night. By the time this gets posted, I will probably have already seen him, and maybe gotten an interview. It's at the Vampire Ball, so that should be interesting down in Denver. If nothing else, it will be a spectacle, and hopefully I will get a little bit of footage for it. As far as anything else, though, like I said, it's been a really crazy week at the restaurant, so have not been able to keep my nose, or my thumb on the pulse and my finger on the trigger, as Corey Taylor would say. Next week will be slower. I will have more to talk about. This has been the week in Nerdom. Thank you once again for watching. www.generallynerdy.net. And if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.